trip from your kitchen to your desk. Have your snacks and drinks within reach. And remember, there are no masks required for this virtual opening event. Let's get this started. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to celebrate with NTT Global Data Centers as we launch 2 of our newest data centers in Hillsboro and Chicago. Stay tuned at the end for a live Q&A with our Americas team at NTT Global Data Centers. Questions? Submit in the chat bar during our event. And here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
Hello, my name is Abhijit Dubey, and I am the new Global CEO for NTT Limited. I want to welcome everyone to this exciting virtual event all the way from London.
I'm Jason Goodall. I'm the Global Chief Executive Officer of NTT Limited. I want to welcome everyone to this very exciting global event. I'm dialing in from a place called Plettenberg Bay here in South Africa.
My name is Simon Walsh. I'm the CEO of NTT Limited in the Americas, and I'm delighted to welcome you to our virtual event from Dallas in Texas.
My name is Masaki Moribayashi, and I am the Senior Executive Vice President of Services for NTT. I want to welcome everyone to this exciting virtual event all the way from London.
Konnichiwa. My name is Ryuichi Matsuo, and I am the Executive Vice President, Global Data Center for NTT. I want to welcome everyone to this exciting virtual event all the way from Tokyo.
Konnichiwa. My name is Yasuo Suzuki, and I'm Senior Vice President of Business Management for Data Center Division. I want to welcome everybody to this exciting virtual event all the way from Tokyo, Japan.
Namaste. My name is Sharad Sanghi, and I'm the CEO of NTT Global Data Centers in India. I welcome all of you to this exciting virtual event all the way from Mumbai, India.
Hello and guten Tag. My name is Florian Winkler, and I'm the CEO of NTT's Global Data Center Division in EMEA. I want to welcome everyone to this exciting event, virtual event, all the way from Frankfurt in Germany.
Wow, was that exciting? I'd like to thank all of those NTT executives from joining us from all over the world. It's great to be part of a larger team. I'd also like to thank all of you for attending today's event. I'm Doug Adams, and I'm the President and CEO of NTT Global Data Centers Americas. This is an exciting and interesting time to be part of the data center industry. 2020 was a very challenging year, but we accomplished a lot. I'm not sure that any of us believed that we'd be doing a virtual toast for the grand opening a year and a half ago when we incepted these data centers. But you know what? 2020 taught us to be flexible, agile, and innovative. We accomplished a lot. We took 4 separate companies and rolled them together to create NTT Global Data Centers. NTT Global Data Centers is the 3rd largest provider globally, and we have access to 160 data centers worldwide. We also have integrated NTT Global Data Centers into a larger company called NTT Limited, which gives access to our customers to services that we never dreamed of providing in the past. In addition, we've broken ground here in the US on 5 new data centers and 4 new markets to support the tremendous growth we had in 2020. So I want to thank my team for all of the hard work and dedication and the amazing things that they did during the incredibly challenging year of 2020. Over the next 30 minutes or so, we're going to give you tours of our Chicago facility that we call CH1 and our Hillsboro facility that we call HI1. We're also going to do a ribbon cutting and a champagne toast. But first, I'd like to start by introducing Joe Goldsmith. He's our Chief Revenue Officer, my good friend, and him and his team are responsible for pre-letting much of the facilities we're about to show you. Take it away, Joe.
Wow, thank you, Doug. I appreciate the introduction. This is really cool, having a virtual event with our audience from all around the world. I also want to say thank you to the management team from all around the world. We've seen some folks from Tokyo, some people in London, people here in the US. It's really great to see everybody from all around the world welcoming us to this event. Doug, thank you for giving such a great overview of the really exciting time that we're having here at Global Data Centers. 2020 was a really tough year. And as I'm sure for everyone, we're working from home, we're working in a new type of environment, spending a lot of time on team calls and Zoom calls, and it's really been tough to try to maintain the tempo of our business and continue to grow. Additionally, we've been delivering 4 new construction projects here in the United States, and that's really been tricky, trying to do that while we're in the midst of this COVID lockdown. So I want to introduce these 4 projects, but I also want to mention the fact that even with the current environment that we're all faced with, the data center business has never been more robust. The demand for our services has never been stronger, which is why we're especially excited about delivering these additional projects coming this year. So I'd like to talk a little bit today about the Hillsborough project, the Chicago project, and then some other exciting projects that we've got that are coming later this year. Hillsborough, Oregon, the first project that I want to talk about today, just finished commissioning the first 6 megawatts in the first building on the campus. It's a 47-acre campus with 5 buildings on it. At its end state, fully fitted out, it's going to be 126 megawatts. And the thing that's really exciting about this, other than the fact that it's 1 million square feet, 126 megawatts, that's just a ton of data center space. But the thing that's super exciting about this for us on the business side is we can grow with our customers. And so this isn't one of these situations where you have 6 megawatts and we have to stop and figure out some other place to go or some new development. This campus, 47 acres, will yield 126 megawatts. We can grow with even our largest hyperscale customers out there, as well as our tech customers and our enterprise. So we're very proud of this. We're also very proud of the fact that we've connected this data center and this campus to the undersea cables between the Asian markets and the Pacific Northwest. So this is very exciting, low latency, high connectivity. It's really the place where we're going to deliver new customers and digital platforms and enable the Hillsborough market to be able to service not only the United States, but Asia Pac and points beyond. The next project that I'd like to talk about is Chicago. Chicago just wrapped up the first phase a few weeks ago, and that means 36 megawatts is now available at our new 19-acre campus, where we're going to have 2 buildings, which will represent, at its fully built out state, 72 megawatts. This is really neat because, again, like we talked about in Hillsborough, this allows us to grow with our customers. And so rather than solving for our customers' requirements today, it gives us the ability to grow with the customers and solve their data center requirements in the future and days beyond. This data center, it's deployable for our enterprise customers, for our scale customers, and our hyperscale customers. We're very excited to show it to you, and we're looking forward to seeing you out in sunny, warm Chicago. We also hit significant milestones at SV1, our new data center in Santa Clara, California this year. This is a really neat development because for those of you that know the Santa Clara market, it's a very tough market to do data center development work. So our construction is nearly complete on a 160,000 square foot, 16 megawatt facility that's a convenient location right in the heart of Santa Clara. And it's an ideal spot for clients looking for space in this prime market. One of the interesting things about this development is we leaned on NTT's experience in Japan for the seismic activity that they have in Japan, and we integrated that into our construction here for seismic base isolation, so that in the event of a seismic event, in the event of an earthquake, this building and everything inside of it is protected from that seismic event with this base isolation system. So we're very excited about that. The facility is the first in Santa Clara to use this state-of-the-art technology. We should be ready to give you a look inside this facility in another month or 2. We expect to commission this in about 60 days. And this is going to be a very exciting new building and new development in, frankly, the heart of Silicon Valley, the heart of technology in the United States. So be on the lookout for this in spring. We're very excited to deliver this facility to you. And now I have the great pleasure to turn this over to our friends in Hillsborough and Chicago and give you the first look into these amazing facilities.
Welcome to the Chicago Data Center campus. I'm Ashley Sturm here in Itasca, Illinois, bringing you an exclusive first look of our CH1 data center. Now, it's obviously a little bit cold out here, so let's go inside. Hey, Nick. Our in-house security staff is here 24/7 to greet you upon your arrival. Make sure you have your state-issued valid ID. Now, this facility has 3 layers of multi-factor security authentication. Something you have, your badge, something you know, your PIN, and something you are.
Access granted.
Our security teams are all NTT employees. We don't outsource to any third-party providers, and we never have fewer than 2 security and operations personnel on site at any given time. We have more than 100 real-time security feeds, and we use the Avigilon H4 fisheye camera line to have real-time alert security using pattern-based technology. Plus, the entire campus is fully enclosed by an Ameristar Impasse Series 2 anti-climb fence. For someone visiting, there are no fewer than 5 access control points between the street and our data vaults. Now, let's walk through after you pass security as if you were a client. To the right are conference rooms, perfect for employee meetings. To the left, bathrooms for easy access. In addition to both conference rooms that can seat up to 10, we also have 4 hoteling workspaces, complimentary Wi-Fi with the option to set up your own secure Wi-Fi networks, and a break room featuring a fully equipped kitchenette. On to the main distribution frame, or MDF and MMR rooms. The MDF houses all of the building systems head and equipment, including BMS, security, and life safety servers. Directly adjacent to this space is one of our 2 Meet Me rooms serving the CH1 facility. These rooms are designed to support the most critical network and communication equipment, like Layer 3 routers, switches, gateways, and ISP products. Each MMR has its load backed up by our dedicated house UPS system and cooled by a 2N dedicated Liebherr DSE crack units. These rooms are interconnected to any of CH1's 3 TIA 942 compliant entrance facilities. Entrance facilities provide network carriers via the MMR rooms and interface with NTT clients at CH1. There are 2 4-inch conduits pre-provisioned per MMR room per vault. CH1 offers a variety of cloud, blended internet, dedicated access, dark fiber, and lit fiber connections, so be sure to check out the details in our Chicago campus network datasheet. Additionally, CH1 is a 100% carrier-neutral facility. We're open to working to provide any connection option our clients may need. At CH1's shipping and receiving, like all of our data centers, we'll never turn a shipment away. It's controlled and staffed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by our NTT security team. The entire space is 1,800 square feet with 2 full-size loading docks complete with levelers that can support a full-size 54-foot tractor trailer. The staging area allows clients to unpack all inbound and outbound shipments, preventing any cardboard debris from entering the vaults. Need to go to the second floor? Our 12,000-pound capacity freight elevator and 5,000-pound passenger elevator eliminate any elevation transitions on the route to the vault, making transit from shipping to the vault simple. This data center has 2 levels, and on each floor, we have 3 separate vaults, 6 megawatts each.
Access granted.
And as you can see, we have plenty of space for you to configure your infrastructure, however best suits your needs. Every vault has a 13-foot, 6-inch high ceiling with a Gordon grid capable of supporting 30 pounds per square foot. At CH1, we utilize a slab design with hot aisle containment as a requirement. The data vaults are protected by a double interlock pre-action sprinkler system, and each vault is an independent zone. There are 2 independent chilled water loops, 1 per floor, each designed to cool the 18 megawatts of IT load on each floor. The mechanical electrical gallery houses the Vertiv fan coil walls, which cool the vault. All cooling infrastructure is at least N+1. The chiller plant control rotates chillers when one fails to start another chiller automatically, and there are 20 air-cooled chillers per 18 megawatt floor. Each chiller is rated at 345 tons and are configured as N+2 redundant. The chillers do have an integral-free cooling coils to make use of cool ambient conditions and minimize power consumption. The fan walls are N+1 or higher depending upon the customer requirements, and all fan walls continuously run. When one fan coil wall fails, The remaining fan walls automatically increase fan speed and cooling capacity to carry the volt. Each chiller and fan wall can also be run manually by the operator if required in an emergency, and emergency operational procedures are in place to guide an operator through this process. The 500 kVA Layer 0 PDUs are populated with 6 100% rated 400 amp breakers, and our distribution is 415 240 volt system. The campus is served by 4 primary high voltage utility feeds from Con Ed's Itasca substation. There are 3 primary feeders, each rated at 30 MVA, plus 1 alternate. Each is sourced from a separate high voltage transformer. The generator enclosures house the Kohler 3.25 megawatt generators used to maintain power to the vaults in the event of a utility power loss. The generators are constructed in an N+1 configuration, with 4 primary generators for each vault and 1 1.5 megawatt generator dedicated to house power. Each generator has a dedicated belly fuel tank with 24 hours worth of fuel storage. The total site capacity is 136,962 gallons. In the electrical modules, you'll find the uninterruptible power supplies and the lithium-ion backup batteries. 2 parallel Mitsubishi 1 megawatt UPS systems are designed in an N+1 or 4 to make 3 distributed redundant configuration. Last but not least is the current 11,500 square feet of office and storage space. This versatile space can be directly customized to meet any client's needs and boast some great views. Now that wraps up your exclusive view of the first phase of CH1. Let's head over to the West Coast to hear from Chris in Hillsboro.
Hi, it's me, Chris Saxey, and today we're going to be taking a never-before-seen look into our Hillsboro data center campus. HI1 is the first of 5 planned facilities for our 42-acre, 126-megawatt campus here in Hillsboro, Oregon. These 6 highly dense 6-megawatt environments are perfect for single-user or co-location requirements and also meet the needs of our hyperscale and enterprise customers. Portland General Electric is our electricity service provider here, and they're well known for reliability and low cost. But not only that, we offer green options and are the only data center in this market to be compliant under Oregon's Cleaner Air Act, ensuring clean air for Oregon for generations to come. This campus is entirely encompassed by an Ameristar Series 2 anti-climb fence. The facility is surveilled by an Avigilon security camera system. We maintain 90 days worth of video surveillance on site at any time. Upon entry into this facility, all individuals are asked to present a government-issued photo ID, and our security personnel will cross-reference that against an access control list that's controlled by you via our Matrix portal. There are no fewer than 5 access control points between the street and your space. We utilize 3 separate types of access control that involve something you have, something you are, and something you know. There are 8 hoteling locations available within the front of house space at HI1. Each of them is capable of accessing our free Wi-Fi service. In addition to that, we offer the opportunity for our clients to provide their own secured Wi-Fi, so long as the frequency doesn't overlap with any of the existing Wi-Fi systems on site. HI1 also includes 2 conference rooms capable of supporting up to 10 individuals per conference room. These can be reserved via our online portal, and you have access to these at any time. HI1 also offers this break room space as an amenity for your employees as a respite away from the grind of the data floor. Welcome to our MDF room. This room serves as the central nervous system for HI1 and supports our fire alarm, security, and access control systems. All systems within this room are backed up by 2 300 kVA UPS systems on our house lineup. These are TIA 942 compliant Meet Me rooms. We are a carrier neutral facility. This is the point at which your data floor will be interconnected to the outside world. We supply 100% UPS backed up power to all equipment within this MMR room. It is one of the most secure rooms in this facility. We're standing in front of HI1 shipping and receiving. These spaces are controlled 24/7 by our security personnel who are on site to receive your packages any time of day. Let's take a step inside and take a look. Our security team will receive packages, as I said, regardless of whether or not they're scheduled. They will be verified against the bill of lading, and images will be taken of any damage and reported back through the client portal. HI1 is capable of supporting at this time a single 54-foot tractor trailer. Our dock is complete with a dock leveler, and in addition to this space, we have a temporary storage located just here through this roll-up door. It's a roughly 1,300 square foot space that can be provisioned as temporary or long-term storage for a client's needs. HI1's first 6 megawatt vault is roughly 21,000 square feet. It is a slab-on-grade design with 14-foot high ceilings. The lighting in this space is all controlled by individual occupancy sensors on each light to conserve energy, and we've designed for 50-foot candles at the work plane. The Gordon grid that you see above is 8 by 8 and serves as support for both overhead conveyance and electrical distribution. As we move to the edge of the data hall, we can see the 20 fan wall units serving 325 kW worth of sensible cooling to this space. They're configured in an N+1 fashion and can support up to 4 additional fan wall units based on pre-allocated space. We're currently standing inside the electrical mechanical gallery serving HI1's first 6 megawatt data vault. On my left, you'll see here 500 kVA PDUs that we've selected with transformer impedances to limit the available short circuit at the floor. Each of the fan walls to my right can be independently isolated and concurrently maintained. We're headed over to take a look at one of 4 EMODs supporting the 6 megawatt data vault that we just saw previously. Let's take a look inside and we'll talk a little bit more about the equipment included. This is one of our electrical modules, part of our vendor managed inventory and our strategy to increase the speed to kW. Each of these units is comprised of a 4,000 amp switchboard and 2 connected in parallel 1 megawatt UPS systems and their battery strings as well. We're standing in front of one of 4 generator enclosures supporting 3.25 megawatt Kohler gensets. Each of these gensets has a 24-hour capacity belly tank, and we are also the only data center in Oregon to have been certified by the Oregon Cleaner Air Act, ensuring that we're protecting the environment while we're protecting the certainty of your critical load. That was an exclusive first look at the first phase of HI1, which is move-in ready today.
Great things change things.
It's not just a building.
It's a connection to the world.
Celebrate with NTT Global Data Centers
as we launch 2 of our newest data centers in Hillsborough and Chicago.
2 data centers purpose-built for the way we do business today.
Ready for the dynamic needs of tomorrow.
Designed with you at the center.
That's a great thing.
I'm pleased to bring you the official opening of CH1 and HI1.
On behalf of NTT Global Data Centers, I'm proud to announce the grand opening of HI1 in Hillsborough, Oregon.
I'm very proud to announce the opening of NTT's new data center, CH1, located in Itasca, Illinois.
Great job, team. With that, I have the honor of proposing a toast to CH1 and HI1 and the amazing team of people that built it and made it happen. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers. Thank you for joining us.
Cheers and kanpai.
Cheers.
Kanpai.
Cheers.
Cheers and Prost.
And cheers to the NTT team globally. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to thank each of you for joining us today to celebrate the launch of CH1 and HI1. Please join us for a Q&A session with Bruno Berti and Chris Sashi. Please remember to submit your questions in the chat box on your screen.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I know we've got a big crowd out there. I am Steve Lem. I am the Senior Vice President of Marketing and Product for the Data Centers Division of the Americas with NTT. I've got Bruno and Chris here with me. We've got a lot of questions coming in, so we're going to dive right in. We'll give Chris a minute to catch his breath. I don't know how he managed to get to his desk so quickly and seem to have changed too. So Chris, you can take a minute there to get ready. But we'll dive right in as you heard. If you've got more questions, if you want to put those in the Q&A section, we'll dive into those. But let's get going in here as we've got quite a bit to cover. Bruno, let's start with you. We've had a lot of questions about this, and I think we all talked about 2020 being such a different year. But normally we'd all be standing in Chicago or standing in Hillsborough together and be able to spend some time really digging in around the data center. There's some questions coming in about how we're handling tours and what we're doing to show the data centers, and what are the expectations of the customers in this time where we don't have the same access maybe that we've had in the past.
That's actually a funny question, given the fact that we just did our first ever virtual tour and not actually able to be in the data center specifically. But I get this question sometimes, like in terms of, is the physical tour or the actual walking through a data center before a customer buys a thing of the past? I think what we've seen is it's never going to be a thing of the past. I don't believe it is. I think since we're providing physical co-location space for our clients, where they're putting physical servers and making sure that their equipment is providing whatever services they need, I think the need for a physical tour, or to physically see the data center before a customer buys, is still going to be there. But I do believe that a lot of the protocols have changed for those types of physical tours. We have a lot more processes, procedures in place to make sure that if there is a physical tour required, that all of our customers and our staff are safe through the tour. We have a lot of policies and procedures that we've modified through the pandemic to do that. But I think that kind of leads me to sort of what we've noticed and sort of the change in that the concept of a virtual tour or a video tour or an actual tour with someone just carrying a camera through the data center is becoming more and more critical to the buying process. Our customers now are actually demanding that or requesting that a lot sooner in the buying process, where maybe you tour at the end. Now they want to see that physical virtual tour through the beginning. And I think through 2020, Steve, most of our customers and most of our opportunities have actually gone through a video or a virtual tour, as we like to call them. So I think that's changing the way we do things a little bit. And although I still said that the physical tour is important, I think I'm happy to say that I was on a call with one of our new clients last week, and we had our first, I guess I'll call it a virtual sale, because they never set foot in our facility and actually contracted with us for co-location space. So that was a first for us, and I think it's kind of exciting to see that these tools, these processes, the ability for us to do these virtual tours actually allowed us to be successful.
Yeah, and interesting that they actually called that out, that was the first time they had ever transacted new data center space without actually having set foot in it. So interesting.
Exactly.
So Chris, let's jump over to you. There's a number of questions and there's a lot of discussion around sustainability these days. And I'd love for you to spend a minute and talk to our audience about, what do we mean when we talk about sustainability? What are we doing in and around the data center? And what is kind of our forward-looking view on how we can continue to get and increase our sustainability in all of our data centers?
Yeah, I think the sustainability goals that our clients have, we look at it at NTT as being broken up into 3 separate categories. There's sustainability point as far as CH1 and HI1 are concerned. Both utility providers offer renewable energy credits that give our clients sources on the grids at both of these locations. And I think that's pretty consistently true throughout our portfolio of data centers. And then from a consumption standpoint, we have facilities that employ highly efficient equipment and maximize the productive use of our resources, starting with our mechanical plant and air-cooled chillers having integral free cooling coils that are capable of drawing down the electrical consumption of the compressors serving those units during optimal ambient conditions. Both buildings are also closed-loop chilled water systems and don't require an outside source of water to provide cooling to the data halls. So it doesn't tax that resource as well, which adds an additional layer of efficiency. And then our power conversion equipment, our UPSs and transformers, we target 97 and 99% efficiency for these units, which again further increases our ability to utilize the energy coming into the building in the most efficient manner. From a generation standpoint, actually HI1, interestingly enough, has a solar plant on site that's positioned to offset a portion of our front of house loads. And we're looking at this as sort of a model for strategies going forward at other sites.
Yeah, an additional 600 kW, I believe, of that. So you mentioned Hillsboro, and I think one of the things that we're excited about is our Oregon Cleaner Air certification. Can you talk about what that means, and how does that fit within our sustainability plans and objectives?
Absolutely, yeah. This is something we're really proud of. The Cleaner Air Act, just to give a little bit of context for those not familiar with that Oregon statute. It's additional requirements above and beyond the federal Clean Air Act that sort of close loopholes that were perceived as beneficial to this particular environment. So compliance ensures that industrial progress doesn't come at the expense of public health. And we are the only data center in the Hillsboro market to have received that certification. And for our clients, I think it just offers evidence of our commitment to sustainability and commitment to the communities that we operate in.
Yeah, great. So one of the other things, beyond the Cleaner Air Act, is there are some other benefits that in both of those regions, both Hillsboro and Chicago, that we are passing on to our customers with some of the tax incentives and other programs. Chris, can you speak to those a little bit and share some details on that?
Sure. I'll start with Chicago. So Illinois has implemented a tax incentive program that's a sales and use tax exemption that allows our clients with a memorandum of understanding to eliminate a 7.5% tax on materials that are typically installed during the fit out of our client spaces. So there's quite a bit of savings to be taken advantage of with that program. And then in addition to that, Hillsboro has a property tax exemption that our clients can participate in and receive an annual tax abatement on equipment housed in the data center as well.
Great. All good things, both additional attributes to exciting markets. So Bruno, let's jump over. There was a question about some of the new products in terms of our connectivity and our networking strategy, and specifically in Hillsboro, we've been pushing some information and talking to a lot of our clients about our subsea cabling products and the connections that are specific in Oregon. Can you speak to that and provide some details about what we're doing out of that data center?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it was mentioned a little bit in the video, but one of the main benefits of the Pacific Northwest as a data center location is really access to a lot of those subsea cables that connect the two continents together. And probably one of the main reasons why we selected Hillsboro as one of our strategic expansion locations. I'm not sure how many people are aware of the number of cables that connect North America to the Asia Pacific region, but there's tons of cables with thousands and thousands and thousands and probably thousands of fibers that are used to facilitate the communications between these two markets and two continents for that matter. So for us, we specifically tapped one of those cable bundles and actually have created an opportunity for our customers to access PC1, which is a specific cable fiber bundle that connects our data center and the clients in our data center to Tokyo, Japan, and all the data centers in that surrounding market. So we make it really easy for customers. So with their co-location services, they can contract with us for either a 10 gig or 100 gig service on that platform or on that cable. And it's turnkey. It's all they need to do is contract with us. We make it part of their co-location service, and they have access to that fiber, that connectivity, and basically have connected those two markets together. So we knew that going in there, it was going to be critical to be able to offer that. And then the other piece that our team did is really try to make it as simple as possible for customers, so they weren't dealing with multiple contracts and months of setup time. So we have it ready to go today for customers to contract with us on.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff, and one of the real values is as we all build out under the NTT umbrella, being able to offer additional services and products to our customers as we go forward is exciting stuff. So, thanks, Bruno.
Yeah.
Chris, let's jump back over. You mentioned, Chris, a moment ago, it seems like when you were standing outside our electrical modules, about our vendor managed inventory and how we're building and delivering in multiple markets. Talk to us a little bit more about what that means and what the value is for us as a company and how that translates into the flexibility with our clients.
Sure. Yeah, I think this is one of the coolest parts about how NTT approaches their construction. Our design and construction teams have kind of sought to put an eye on efficiency, consistency, and repeatability when it comes to our new designs and new builds. Both HI1 and CH1, as I had said in the video previously, utilize equipment from our vendor managed inventory for major components of the mechanical and electrical plants. These, in the case of the E-mods that we were looking at, are integrated, assembled, and tested before they ever reach the site. And that offers us a tremendous amount of flexibility when it comes to meeting the timelines of prospective clients that we have in the pipeline. We can redirect assets to meet the needs of clients in different areas, and it's something our design and construction team really prides themselves on. The result of this at the end is a speed to market and an operational consistency that just adds to the overall level of certainty that we're trying to establish with all of our builds.
Yeah, and important to give that runway and that flexibility in all of our markets simultaneously. So a really important component of our growth plan going forward. Along those lines, Bruno, let's throw it back over to you. One of the things we talked about from a kind of a detail of what we were building. There was quite a bit of what I would call nerd speak in there. A lot of details of all of the specifics of those buildings. But when you think about how we are serving our clients, or really how we're serving clients of different sizes, what are we doing to service both our large and small clients, and how do we think about retail versus wholesale versus those that are buying it at scale, as Joe talked about earlier? What's our overall strategy, and what are we building in each of these sites?
Yeah, I think that's actually one of the things that I believe our company has done right from the start, and we've really understood the fact that no two clients are the same. And even if they were, no two client requirements are the same. So what we've done from the start with our design is we've tried to make sure that we can address the needs of different clients, no matter how big, how small they are. And for us, that means I have a product that I can sell to a client that needs a single cabinet, secured cabinet. I want to keep that in mind because the security of those cabinets and those spaces are critical, but a secured cabinet within our shared environment. We also have the ability to provide a cage enclosure or a secured enclosure that can house and support multiple cabinets in any configuration. We also have the ability to allow our customers to have and purchase an entire, we call them a vault, but it's a data hall. So it's an entire room that could be dedicated to a client if they're buying that at scale. And we also have some clients that are looking to take entire floors or entire buildings. And we've designed our products to really be able to meet the needs of all those customers. And I think one of the things that we've always prided ourselves on the product team is we try to build a product to meet our client needs, not a client that meets our product needs, which is a little bit more difficult to do, but it does give our team some flexibility, and it allows us to have a solution for all the types of opportunities that we're engaged in.
So on that note, when we talk about some of the products and services, one of the things that we've seen a much higher utilization on, obviously, with where we're at in the time of COVID. But let's talk a quick minute about our remote hands and eyes and kind of the services in and around the data center. What are we offering what are we offering to our clients of all sizes, and what's been happening with that over the last year or so, obviously, as that's become more important as we've tried to control access to the data centers?
Yeah, that's an interesting phenomenon, because I think I was on a panel last week discussing this specific solution, but basically with everybody moving to a work from home or a lockdown state, the data center doesn't stop. In fact, we've seen data center requirements increase significantly to meet some of these online requirements that work from home really drives. So what we've done was really ramped up our remote hands staff and services to support our customers when, at first we didn't want a lot of people within our data center. So we really urged our clients to leverage that remote hands capability. We've got trained staff within our data center that is, trained and able to go into our client environments and provide what we call remote hands, which are really kind of some of the physical aspects of rebooting servers, of checking lights, maybe moving cabling around based on customer instruction that would actually eliminate or remove the need for a client to actually physically come on site. And that's been a huge benefit to a lot of our customers since they haven't needed to come on to just do some simple tasks, and we can provide that for them. And we did a bit of a report at the end of last year to just sort of see what the trends and what the differences have been. And it was interesting to see that our remote hands usage increased by over 35%. That's pure usage in hours over the same period a year before. So the pandemic has definitely, allowed, or I actually stressed the importance of having people work remotely and being able to do things on site for our clients on their behalf.
Yeah, and providing those services to customers and clients of all sizes is very important in our overall strategy, obviously. So a couple of quick ones coming in here. There is a question about connectivity in our networking, maybe a follow-on to the subsea cabling, but the question is, are all of our data centers connected globally, including the new data centers? And can you speak to a couple of those products, Bruno? I know that's probably one best for you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I think that's one of the things that, if NTT is known for its roots, it's really about the telecommunications and the ability to provide that connectivity. So one of the things that I'm very proud of is the fact that we have, within each data center, we have a significant amount of data center connectivity options for our clients. As was mentioned in the video, first and foremost, we're carrier neutral. We allow any and all carriers to come into our data center to service our customers, and we provide connectivity options to those. We have our own blended internet product that's a blend of industry-leading internet providers out there that we can offer to our customers. Again, it's more from a simplicity perspective and being able to provide one bill to our clients. In addition to those, all of our data centers in the Americas are interconnected through a product that we call Campus Connect, which is really just a connectivity fabric that allows all of our data centers to be connected so customers can connect to themselves and can connect to other customers if they're a client of the data center. And each one of our GDC regions have that same connectivity capability. And with NTT, we've actually enhanced that to allow connectivity outside of regions. So we've got a full suite of connectivity options within our data center because we understand that co-location in data centers isn't about just the space, power, cooling, and electricity anymore. It's really about that connectivity and making sure that all these environments can work together and look like it's one big environment. So there's a full suite of connectivity options. And Subsea Connect that we added with Hillsboro is just an additional option for our clients, again, making it as easy as possible for them to colo with NTT.
So lots of choices, lots of options. So good stuff. All right, we've got a couple of quick minutes here. I'm seeing some more questions coming in. I'm going to combine two of these here. And maybe, Chris, you can handle part of this, and I'll actually answer a little bit of this. But how will we handle pre-screening and contact tracing for third-party suppliers? I think the broader question there is, how are we managing access and control, obviously in the time of COVID? The second piece of that, there's a separate question, but I think it's really the similar thing, is aside from security and maintenance personnel, what other NTT employees are on site? And one of the comments I'll make on that one, as with many data centers, historically the corporate offices were in the data centers themselves. Bruno and I both have an office, in our CH1 facility. We are 100% remote. Obviously, we with non-data center specific roles, we've moved to a remote model to try and limit that exposure. We do have our maintenance and security personnel and our critical access for specific personnel, but we absolutely try and control that to minimize the risk and exposure within the data center. In terms of contract tracing and process, I don't know, Chris, if you want to speak to that a little bit. We do have some very, very robust processes in place to control access and manage that.
Yeah, as Steve alluded to, we take this extremely seriously anytime we have anyone visiting one of our sites, almost everyone involved with that facility, and then management needs to be made aware of that that request to attend the site. And then our security and operations personnel will, take temperatures as well as ask COVID screening questions prior to entry to the facility. 100% masked at all times. And we stress even with our clients to where there are opportunities to limit the number of people that are on site, we push to achieve that limitation in order to ensure a safe environment for all of our employees as well as our clients.
Yeah, it's been challenging, but I think the team has definitely risen to the occasion in terms of the process and the rigor with which we've been able to manage that and minimize any risk to both our employees and to our clients. So there's a few more questions coming in. We will try and answer those and we'll provide follow-on answers to this. I do want to close with one question, Bruno, with you. We heard Joe and Doug both talk a little bit about some of the things that are coming next, but I wanted to give you a chance to give us that quick preview. What's the next thing coming down the pipe, and what are the things that we have to look forward to really in the coming months even?
Yeah, I think Joe mentioned Santa Clara and Phoenix, and I'll talk a little bit about those, but I kind of just want to preface it with this is just the start, right? I think we're excited at NTT GDC with the expansion and really the focus that we've put on making sure that we have a solid data center solution across the globe. For us in the Americas, the next data center actually that we're focusing our attentions on is Santa Clara. So we're very close to being able to commission and launch our first data center in that market. It's an exciting market for us. We've had probably the most interest in that building than probably any other building. I think you saw in the video some of that base isolation technology that's going to be used to protect the facility and our clients' equipment in there. I think it's incredible to see, and talk about geeking out. I spent a lot of time in under the building looking at all these solutions and just amazed. So that's next. It's a 16 megawatt, 4-story facility. And if you're in the Bay Area, if you're in Santa Clara, take a look at the building. It's the design is just incredible, and kind of excited about that building. Shortly after that one, we've already started construction in our Phoenix expansion, which is actually in a suburb of Phoenix called Mesa, Arizona. So we're starting to build our first 36 megawatt building there. That campus is impressive as well and exciting because we can get 7 buildings on that campus. So we have a lot of runway and a lot of focus and commitment to that whole Phoenix market by, a lot of customers have been asking us for that. And that's not where we're going to stop either, Steve. I think those are the ones that are announced. We're continually investigating and looking at in other markets in the U.S. and in North America. We are the Americas, so we're definitely looking to see what other markets are critical for us to be in from a data center perspective in the Americas. So love to talk to our clients, love to hear what your expansion plans are to help at least guide and maybe accelerate some of those plans. But this is just the start of a lot of expansion.
Yeah, excellent. And hopefully we'll all get together soon and celebrate and get a chance to take a look at Santa Clara. Given the timing, I'm not sure we'll be able to have a big event in the building yet, but maybe by the time we open Phoenix, we'll all be together again. So, well, Chris, Bruno, thank you guys both. Lots of good information here, and thanks to everyone around the globe. We had a significant group joining us this morning or this afternoon, depending on where you were. Thank you to Doug and Joe for all of the information, Chris and Ashley for their tours, and our executive team around the globe. That intro and that toast is exciting to think about how many teams and the leadership that we have as we become and are part of the broader NTT community. So thanks to everyone for joining us today. A reminder that this entire session will be available on demand. If you did miss parts of this, you can capture that. You'll have a chance to review that content again, and we look forward to seeing everyone again soon at the next event. Thank you very much for attending.